Now what I want to do is go back to this original file that we started with, because so far what we've done is we've talked about how a click event on a pie chart, for example, will change a variable that we have, our global variable, and then that can be used in masking another command, which has influenced the data that we're shown here in our graphic. But really, to make something a little more complete, like the examples I have here, we have other things that are happening. We have labels that are being updated. And in this example with the pie chart, I also have an offset being set for the pie. So in addition to having just single global variables change, we can have multiple global variables that are changed depending on the way I have my click events configured. The global variables that are set up in this file are organized according to the graph. So the first few are the ones that are used in the pie and the bars and the points. And you'll notice that when I click on this pie chart, I'm changing here actually both of these variables that are used in various places. And for example, I just want to talk a little bit more about how the offset wedge is created. If you look into the pie chart itself, it has this variable or value that you can set for an offset wedge, and it's actually a column that would have the same number of entries as the data itself that's in the pie chart. And this is telling us that the offset wedge is coming from this column here, which is actually displayed right now on our data table. And again, this is connected here to the command. And this column is actually an if statement that uses the variable offset row, which is down here, and gets updated every time I click on my pie chart. So really trying to make use of the fact that these global variables can be used throughout the DataGraph program. It's not just as a mask, but I can use these in other places. And the bar chart here is another example of that, where I have this bar graph that changes colors depending on when I click on it. And if you want to look at the commands that are creating this bar chart, the color is actually coming from this graphic here, or this command. This is a bar command that can use a color scheme. You can see that there's a color scheme here. The color scheme itself is called fill color. And here is the color scheme over in our list of global variables. And what the color scheme does is it tells you if I have a certain value, give it this color. And the value, notice that the value itself that's here is not numerical. This value itself is a variable. It's the variable isRow, which is set here up above. And this is a variable that does change with my click events. So this color scheme goes back into here. And that's how this color is actually changing when I'm doing my click events. Now the click events themselves are actually set up with this bars command. You can see here's my little icon that I can click and see how these events are set up. But again, there's multiple connections here that I can create and make these kind of unique types of interactivities. Now the last one that I want to show you, this is the points command. This is kind of neat because it's actually taking advantage of a new global variable that is also in the beta version of DataGraph. It's called a text set command currently, and this is based on a column. Oops, didn't mean to actually create a new one here. We'll just open the one that's already set up. It's using the column group, which is shown here. And that column, or the way the text set variable works, is it takes the unique entries from a column and creates a list of them that has a checkbox that we can use to, for example, in a mask. And in this example, this group set is used in the mask for the points command that shows the blue points. The actual points command that's creating this interactivity is only drawing points that are white, but it's got this toggle event set up using this group set variable. To get the files that were used in this video, please go ahead and visit our blog on the DataGraph website. Any other questions, you can always contact us at help@visualdatatools.com.